Shout out to SPW, Special Purpose Weapon, because this week's amp is another viewer suggestion. It's the CT Sounds CT-80.4AB. All right, this is the second amplifier that SPW has recommended that I ended up buying. So y'all keep that in mind. I do that quite a bit. If the suggestion is something that interests me and it's within my budget, there's a good chance I'm gonna pick it up at some point. So I wanted to show you guys exactly how it came to me. This box was a little beat up by the time I got it. I was a little surprised, nothing major. But it is double boxed, so extra good on them because the one in here looks a lot better. This corner, though, you can tell that corner got mashed in. But the amp is fine. I haven't taken it out of the box, but I did open the box. But CT Sounds CT-80.4AB. Pretty cool little amp. If you wanted a 4-channel and you wanted to be, class AB for that sound quality that some people talk about or believe in, this is probably a good option for you, to be honest. It's about the right size. If you're not trying to go crazy on your power, but to power 4 doors with some, some decent power and a class AB might be a good one to look at. But I have not done any testing whatsoever, so I don't want to get ahead of myself here because this thing might do lousy. Sticker, a couple different types of stickers. I think we've seen this before with the other CT Sounds amp that I did. Thank you. And then the owner's manual. Check out all the amps in the CT line up there. That'd be cool. I'd like to do this 3200. I'd like to do that 2K. Look, they've got a 4-channel D also. Check out that 150.4D. That would also be pretty cool. But there's a lot of people that want to go AB on their mids and highs and class D on their subwoofers. So I will say this, they package their stuff really nice. Let's get it out of here. Oh boy, she's got some weight. Wow. Wasn't expecting it to weigh what it does for its size. That's always a good sign. Sometimes it's the heat sink, but I don't think anybody's ever picked up a car amplifier and it was light and saw that as something that turned out good. We're probably going to look at the guts on this amp, but there she is. Nice looking amp. I've got my fingerprints on it already, but what do we have here? Full range class AB amplifier. There's the model number. All right, while we're here, that's 4. I can tell by looking at it. The rest of these look like about 10 gauge, which is sufficient. I don't think anybody's going to need 8 gauge going to their door speakers. But what size are those? 35s. Holy cow. 2 35 amp fuses. Can y'all see that? Let me get real close. 2 35 amp fuses. Geez, what is this thing rated? I don't even know what it's rated yet, guys. High level inputs for all 4 channels. Low levels for all 4 channels, and then looks like up here on the top you got channel 1 and 2, the controls, and on the bottom channels 3 and 4. So let me get a little closer on that too for y'all. Check that out. The gain just says min to max. The bass boost 0 to 12 for all 4 channels. High pass filter for all 4 channels, 40 hertz to 250. And then the low pass for all 4 channels, 40 hertz to 250. It's the same. And then you have switches over to the right for full range, high pass, low pass, power and protect lights. So no clip light on this one. Oh yeah, we saw the other side already. All right, we can see a little bit in there already, but we'll take the plate off of this when we're done testing it. But let's get this thing wired up real quick. I forgot to show y'all in the box, other than the literature, the only other things you get is 2 more of those 35 amp fuses, 4 screws for mounting it, and then your high level inputs. Check these out, how they are made together. And then on this end, it's just the wires you strip back and use. That's different than what we normally see, but sufficient. I have no doubts that would do the job for you. All right, I got it wired up. There are a couple of things to address. Number one, I didn't do a good job of showing you the box because there are some ratings on this one end right here. So we see right there 80 by 4 at 4 ohms, 110 by 4 at 2 ohms, and 160 by 2 at 4 ohms bridged. All of those are at 14.4 volts. Believe that second one there is a little bit different in the manual. Remember, 110 by 4, and on page 2, so we have the 80.4. So right here we have, is that gonna work? Is it gonna switch for me? This darn thing. All right, 80 by 4 at 4 ohms, 120 by 4 at 2 ohms, and 160 by 2 at 4 ohms. So in the manual, it says 120 by 4, and on the box, it says 110 by 4. The other thing to address, and they have a pretty decent manual, on page 8 is where it talks about bridging. The amp does not say how to bridge it, other than right there, you see where it says speaker, and it's just got the brackets, but it doesn't actually say that that's bridged on the top or the bottom, by the way. But in the manual, if you go to the manual, it shows you. You've got channel 1 positive, channel 2 negative, and then same for 3 and 4. But right here, this black box says for CT-80.4AB, the speaker terminals positive and negative are reversed. Well, sure enough, because on the amp, it's channel 1, channel 2, that's correct, but then it's negative, positive, negative, positive. Where right here in the manual, it's positive, negative, positive, negative. So that leads you to believe, okay, well then when I go to bridge it, do I still use channel 1? Let's see. So basically, which one of these do I reverse? And ultimately what it is, you still go on the outsides. So what you're gonna end up doing is using channel 1 negative, that's all the way over here to the left, and channel 2 positive, which is all the way over here to the right, rather than using the 2 in the middle. Because keep in mind, on the amp, the 2 in the middle is channel 1 positive in the middle and channel 2 negative in the middle. So I had to do some testing to figure that out and know for sure before I started doing some testing. So little confusion there. I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. All right, so we are going to be doing all of these runs at 1 kilohertz. Probably not going to do any runs at 40 hertz because honestly, a little 80 by 4, you should be buying this for your door speakers, honestly. So I'm probably going to do every single run at 1 kilohertz, but let's get to that. All right, also, we're going to do all of these runs bridged. So this first run is what the manual is calling 80 by 4, but what we're going to do is a 160 by 2 is what we're looking for. But I'm gonna be doing this run at 8 ohms. So that's just how it works. If you're confused by that, you need to go do some research to figure that out. This isn't the right video for that. But this simulates the 80x4. It's just that we're bridged, so we're looking for 160x2. So we're starting off at 14.8, and we're gonna capture the current. And so 1 kilohertz. Again, looking for 160x2 to see if it'll do its numbers. Let's roll it up. Oh man, right at it. Look at that, 164 and 159. I think I did see out of the corner of my eye that the voltage dropped to 14.7. Current draw was 47.1. So guys, I don't know. Do you give that a pass? Now keep in mind, that's not exactly how the amp is rated. But you know, we're right at the 160, but that was at 14.7 volts. Let's do the dynamic test. All right, here we go, dynamic. What's it gonna do? Okay, definitely exceeded there dynamically. All right, let's move on to the next test, which is gonna be done at 4 ohms bridged, and the book, it is rated for that. That is the 160x2. So let's see if we can get 160x2 at 4 ohms. All right, this test should be a slam dunk, and this was throwing me off a little bit, but we're fixing to do that 160x2 at 4 ohms there. It pretty much already did the 160 by 2 at the run there on the top. But normally you see the 120 by 4, so that's 480. But then they're saying bridged, it only is rated 320. So this 4 ohm bridged seems to be underrated, to be honest. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. It is a little bit confusing anyway. But long story short, this 160x2 should be a slam dunk because we've already done that run at 8 ohms. So this is going to be 4 ohms. It should blow this out of the water. We may see why it's got 70 amps worth of fusing on this run. But so that's what we're looking at there, because they're saying that it does 480 at 2 ohms when you're using all 4 channels. All right, let's get to the testing. What are we gonna see here? 1 kilohertz. Here we go, and we are at 14.8 and capturing the current. Here we go, 1 kilohertz. What's it gonna do? You know what? It would help if I turn the amp on. I always turn the amp off to change the ohm loads. You're supposed to do that. Here we go. What's it gonna do? Okay, right at 200. How about that? The current, I did see the voltage drop to 14.7 and the current pull was 76.3. So. It was rated 160x2. It did 200x2. Actually, it was 200 and 199. So it beat its ratings, but it didn't do 480. That's not exactly the way that the amp was rated though, to be honest. You know, bridging an amp isn't always exactly the same as running all 4 channels. So I feel like we need to give it a pass. But let's see what it does dynamically, and I've changed my mind. I think I do want to do this uncertified run at 40 hertz and see what it does at 40 hertz. But first, let's do the 1 kilohertz dynamic. 1K dynamic. What's it gonna do? Oh, nice. Wow, okay. 316 and 303. It's quite a bit more. All right, let's do, I wasn't gonna do 40 hertz, but let's do some 40 hertz. All right, 40 hertz rated 160/2. Now keep in mind the manual, not that I've seen, says at what frequency. So, I don't know. Let's roll it up, 40 hertz. 210 and 206. The voltage dropped to 14.6 and the current draw was 72.6. All right, it is doing a little bit more at 40 hertz. Let's do that same run at 40 hertz dynamic. 40 hertz dynamic. Okay. That's interesting. It did a little less there. Okay, guys. I don't know. I'm a little torn. This amp is just doing okay. I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's a Class AB. I'd like to test that 150.4D and see how that Class D does that they've got. It's definitely putting out sufficient numbers to push a couple of, or I should say 4 6.5s or 4 6x9s, but it's not just blowing it out of the water. You know, I'm calling it like it is. That 70 amps worth of fusing seems a little unnecessary, but you know, I say that. Let me back up from that. This is a Class AB. I keep forgetting that. It's not going to be as efficient as a Class D. It's going to pull a little more current being an AB. Maybe it is. We did see, you know, in the ballpark of, you know, 500 to 600 watts, depending on which run you want to look at. But I don't know. I'm not overly excited about this amp. All right, sit tight. Let's decide what we want to do next. All right, guys, here we go. It's the gut shot. Well, we're gonna see guts for an 80/4. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. All right, there she is. Not a lot to look at, but you know, this isn't a big, powerful amplifier. I'm so torn on this one. I'm just right there. You know, I guess it did its ratings. It is an 80/4. Keep in mind, that was resistors. You're gonna have rise in your vehicle. That was at 14.7 volts. I don't know. We saw 400, 399 actually at that 4 ohm bridged. And it did a little over 600 dynamically. So it's hard to hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I forgot to tell you guys what this amp costs. So I bought this amp on Amazon for $139.99, and with tax it come out to $151.19. That's part of the reason why I'm torn. That's not really cheap in today's world for what you can get for amplifiers. So we're talking about 150 bucks. I don't know. I mean, it's a pretty nice amp that does its ratings, but I don't know that you couldn't go somewhere else and do better with your money. Like a JP-84. So the JP-84, and we have one of those, by the way, but a JP-84 is $159.99. And anytime I buy something from Down for Sound, I get it for exactly what it says. Like no tax, free shipping. Because I think shipping over 100 is free or whatever, and I don't live in Nevada, so there's no tax added. So you would probably be able to get that JP-84 at your door for $8 more than this amp. Now the JP-84 is not a huge amp either, and we are talking about Class D as opposed to Class AB. But still, I believe that JP-84 gives you more power. It's smaller. It has a clip light on it. We've got one of those, by the way. It's kind of funny. I think that's the only amp that me and my sons have that I've never done a video on. Great little amp. It's in my son's Tahoe. It's running all 4 of his JL Audio 6.5s that are in the doors of his Tahoe. It does a great job. It sounds good. It's small. We love it. I bought it for him for Christmas one year. So I'm a big fan of that JP84, even though you've never seen one on my channel. But I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think in the comments. I know how you guys are probably going to feel. I see the comments every week. I know what a bargain you guys like to find, and I just don't know. Don't let me put any words or thoughts in your mouth, but honestly, is this amp worth $151.19 to my door? I really want to try out their 150 Class D, 150.4 Class D. It might perform better. Also, we did see this thing pull 75 amps in one of those pulls, and I talk about the 70 amps of fusing. So I don't know. I think that their stuff is accurately rated, just not any or not much over their ratings. I think that's the deal with CT Sounds. But anyhow, guys, we got one thing left to do. All right, how are we gonna write this? Oh, shoot. Remember, channels 1 and 2 did 200, 3 and 4 did 199. That was bridged, so let's just put a B and a B. That was at 1K, 4 ohms, and that was uncertified. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I drop a video every week. Thank you for the support. Bring the comments like you always do, and we will see you next week.